What a fight you've taken on. What drew you to this particular situation, and why Montana?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm an Israel hawk to start with. I mean, I carried legislation when I was in our state legislature to block BDS, the boycott, divestiture, and sanctions of Israel and Israeli companies. So when I see this kind of behavior, it immediately gets my attention. A few of my colleagues actually in other states brought this to my attention, and we realized this is something that we needed to look at in Montana as well. We have our Unfair Trade Practices Act. That's under my auspices at our State Department of Justice to enforce that and make sure that these businesses, when they are investing money on behalf of Montana customers, that they're doing so legally. And frankly, this is not good. I mean, if they're more worried about being woke and about ESG and about somehow penalizing the nation of Israel than they are about making money for their investors, that's a problem for Montana law and for me.
It's amazing, and it's such a silent, kind of under the table sort of wokeism that has invaded American society today, because you have a lot of individuals, a lot of citizens whose money are tied to these kinds of groups, and they really don't have control over what that money does. And it's not like they can wake up all of a sudden and pull all that money out at a moment's notice. These guys make it very difficult to do such things. So it's a silent kind of activism, if you will. It's one of the more toxic ones, and it's refreshing to see that we have official action on the domestic side of things in states like Montana. What are the things that you guys have found as you started opening this investigation, and what have you encountered in terms of blockages?
Well, it's quite preliminary. I will say that. So what we have authority to do under our State Unfair Trade Practices Act is we have the ability to send investigative demands. We call them CIDs. They're just short of a subpoena, but they do have the force of law. And so that's where we are right now. We've basically put a shot across their bow saying, we're watching. We want you to produce documents into what you're doing and explain to us why what you think you're doing is legal. We've had pretty good luck with that in the past. I mean, look, this is not our first rodeo, as we say here in Montana. We've been dealing with a lot of these woke investing and woke banking institutions for the last 3.5 years since I've been in office. So this is we've gotten quite good at this, but we see this all the time. I mean, these big investing firms, these large equity funds, they're being pressured to move further and further left and be more and more woke when they should be worried about making pensioners money. Because that's what we're talking about here. You've got a lot of Montanans and a lot of folks in other states who have their retirements tied up in these companies. They're not concerned about politics. They're not concerned about leftist ideology. They want to make sure their pension is safe. That's what these groups should be focused on.
No, it's refreshing to know that offices like yours are going after it. Now, on the national stage, we still have these stories of Chinese agents infiltrating state governments. You've got the Chinese buying U.S. land. Now, notably, the state of Montana, to its credit, has not been infiltrated, as far as we know, by Chinese land buyers. The states around you have. Montana has maintained kind of this wall around itself on that front. But overall, we're seeing an uptick of Chinese involvement on domestic fronts, whether it's involving themselves in steel mills in Pennsylvania, or this latest story out of New York. Kathy Hochul, the governor, is now involved in this scandal. Her chief of staff is being looked into for being a Chinese spy.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.